So you wanna start a war in the age of icons. So you wanna be immortal with a loaded gun. So you wanna start a war. So you wanna start a war. Bang. Shots fired, pain is what you desire. If the pen is mightier than the sword, then how do we get here, my God? My God. Say among liars, blame the deniers. If history is dead and gone, then how did we get here, my God? My God. So you wanna start a war in the age of icons. So you wanna be immortal with a loaded gun. So you wanna start a war. 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 So you wanna start a war in the age of icons. So you wanna be immortal with a loaded gun. So you wanna start a war. So you wanna start a war. So you wanna start a war. So you wanna start a war in the age of icons. So you wanna be immortal with a loaded gun. So you wanna start a war. So you wanna start a war. Bang. Shots fired, pain is what you desire. If the pen is mightier than the sword, then how do we get here, my God? My God. Say among liars, blame the deniers. If history is dead and gone, then how did we get here, my God? My God. So you wanna start a war in the age of icons. So you wanna be immortal with a.
That's the one. That's the one. Welcome, people. Now, this is just a quick stream. It's mainly so I can get the clips off of it, because what's going on is mental, and it is a war. I use that intro because we are seeing a war, and it's a war of culture. It's a war of the people. What I saw in the Netherlands today is just, it's unbelievable, and it's just going to prove that when you have a whole bunch of people who have no ties to the country, that they want to riot, they want to stand against the host nation, and they want to run amok. What can the people do? We've seen it with Palestine. Many people are going onto the streets. So we know it's not really a huge Palestinian constituency in the UK. So these people are, a lot of them from other ethnicities, other communities, and they're all standing against the UK government, and that's beside the point. But the point is, if they want to then turn that into a riotous event, then there's nothing anyone can do about it. So let me just go and show you what annoyed me today. There's two clips here. First one's this one. Right, that was on mute.
I asked in the first asylum in Germany.
Yeah,
I don't get it, the asylum.
yeah.
I was there 5 years something. I don't get it any.
let me just go back because I was on mute. I forget to unmute myself. So basically, that was the burning of the Hague before. And this will happen here with a groups of Eritreans who want to run amok. Now, I've always said that is these communities, when they get into big numbers, they do not have the same cultural identity as we do. They do things differently, and we cannot help. We can't stop them. Just to be frank, we cannot stop them unless we get out on the streets and we become a force that we should be. We should be the British Border Force. We should be the people defending our country. We shouldn't have to be felt that it's far right, it's extreme, it's racist, just for wanting to defend our country. It's our right. It's this land here. It's not theirs. It's ours. And people can say what they want to say about how that sounds or how it is or whatever. I don't care. Right? This is why we need to start talking about remigration, making sure that those who don't belong here, those who invaded our country illegally, those who are staying here illegally are taken out. Theresa May back in 2016, I say it time and time again, she said that the UK should be a hostile place for immigration, for illegal immigration, and 100% on with her. But people are now going to say as well, oh, the Eritreans, they're not that big a group, or they're not that dangerous or whatever. 2 years ago, I spoke to a boatman in Napier Barracks, right? He was dressed in Balenciaga trainers. He had a brand new iPhone. He had an iWatch. And what he said has always haunted me. It's always made me want to go down and see what he makes me want to go down and see what the head of the snake is, right? I need to find out who's funding this. So let's listen to the Napier Barrack boatman.
5 years, I don't get it in asylum.
Yeah.
In the last, I want to change my life. I come to UK. Yeah?
Well, why did you go on the boat and not through the normal channels? Why didn't you go get a visa?
Yeah,
why did you choose a boat?
I don't have the document, travel document or something. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If I have a travel document, I can come with visa, but I don't have it.
So you're
me?
the people in Calais could not get asylum in France?
The problem was France, they don't give you the document. Italy, they give you the document, but they give you the document, throw you to outside. You can sleep outside.
So,
don't have any.
So here
help.
they give you document, house, place to live, money. Did they give you money or not?
Yeah, here give you everything. Is very very good. The system here, but
I've done it again. Twice. I'm just not going to bother muting it. Right? So that's the Eritrean guy. Once they get numbered up in the UK, they're going to want to try and take control, because we've already given them houses, we've already given them money, we've already given them everything else. And if you go and look on Truth 101 UK on Twitter, the handle, he shows it. He's showing the scam that's going from Africa, sending people into agencies, and then them agencies are sponsoring the people, putting them into the NHS. Our lives literally are at the hands of these people. And once they group up and they want to get what they want, I'm telling you, it's going to be trouble. And this is why we need to make sure that we don't let the lefty people come and tell us we can't do this, we can't do that. We can't do that. We have to make sure that we control our borders, our countries. Like Gillette says over on Twitter, actual borders and sovereignty of nations would be helpful for starters, you know, and it would be. It would be. Evening Tan, evening Weeran's World. Hello, girls. Thank you for letting me know that as well. And this is it. Look. Do you want this to be in your town? It's not even London, right? Because they won't target London. What they will target is these small towns. Do you want to see this in your local place? It's going to happen if we don't get control of it. If we don't say, and we've got to be in masses to say these people should be sent right back home. Not working no Deliveroo, not working no anything. But it's not going to happen. And I tell you exactly why it is not going to happen. And that is because, as Warren Thornton, aka The Real Truth on Telegram, he's pointed out a simple fact. And let me just see if I can put it on. I don't want anything to be showing. Right. I've got to share this. Let me just share this. Put it on the right one. Listen to this.
We would expand our activities, of course, with a little money.
Sorry, this is a Russian or Ukrainian agent talking to an MI5 agent.
If somebody would spend, I don't know, $10, $20 million a year on supporting this, we would see quite different picture. And this is, not a big amounts of money for people who have billions at stake in this game.
Yeah.
So that's the message that I'm trying to project in my fundraising effort and talking to people in business communities.
Yeah.
You need to play on different chessboards. Mass protests, civil initiatives, propaganda, establishing contacts with the elite and explaining to them that we are reasonable people and we're not going to demolish everything and take away their assets, things like that. So we'll see what comes out of that. So this broadly describes what I do.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, not a small job.
So if we look at that, this is absolutely crazy. This is an MI5 person talking, and he's saying that, let's have some civil unrest. Let's go and do this type of stuff. We're going to pay you, i.e. the government, to do this civil unrest so we can start putting through what we need to put through. Now, is what happened over in The Hague, is that going to be part of the plan? Is this what it is? Is this all the Secret Service people of all the countries saying, well, you know what, we can put people through this way, we can do X, Y, and Z, and we can abuse the people? And we're sitting there and we're worrying about little words, small little words. And I know it don't seem like little words, and it's easy for me to say little words, I guess. Far right, racist, white supremacists, black supremacists, blackface white supremacy, just all out racist. It's easy to say this. It's easy to stop doing what you're doing because of it. But when are we going to realise that the government is against us? When are we going to realise that the people coming in are not our friends? They're not here for the safety of our community. They're not going to be walking about interacting, integrating as has done of past. They're coming here to make sure that they can have a footing in our country. They can make sure that they can take full control. The laws are with them, the laws are not with us. The government is with them, the government is not with us. Everything is with everyone else apart from the people like us. Let me just go quickly scan through the comments. Yeah, I know. This could be it. My sound keeps going in and out. But is that part of the agenda? I always say about 77th Brigade, right? I always say about that, and people are like, oh, there's no 77th Brigade. There's no secret people. There's no secrecy in that. But then if we look at something here, if I get something else up, and I say, all right, and cool. There's no 77th Brigade. Let's go on that premise that the people of the left want to say it's a big conspiracy and, it's only in our heads. Let me share this screen, because this screen is from the British Army. I don't know why it keeps doing that. This is from the British Army. I don't know if you can see that. It's adapting to warfare in the information age. Warfare is rapidly, you can't see my mouse, rapidly evolving, and the ability to compete in the information domain is crucial. We must develop our capabilities and find novel ways of operating to counter our adversities. Now, we know the word novel because we had that in COVID. That means we need to find new ways. We need to find ways that have never been done before. And is this still on? Yeah, all right, that's what it is. I'm sharing it screen. So who are we? The 77th Brigade on the Army MOD website is a hybrid unit of regulars and reservists with specialist skills to combat new forms of warfare in the information environment for the defence of the UK and its overseas territories. So he's saying that it's going to be going overseas, right? It's going to be working in those territories. It's going to be working for the UK, but is that for the UK government? Is that for the people of the UK? They don't stipulate there. How do they help? They establish partnerships. Okay, we've just seen one partnership that's been established between MI5 and a foreign agent that wants to make a colour war, wants to bring out the adversities of people. They want to oppress people so much that they come out and do civil disruption. Why? Because it helps these push through what they're pushing through. And we've got to remember as well, earlier on today I found out that BlackRock, they're removing themselves from the climate change agenda. They're not putting any more money into it. So that's another thing that for me is crucial to understand why they're doing it. What is their next play? Because they've definitely got a next play. Understand the information environment and opportunities to gain an advantage within it. Okay, is that calling everybody a racist so nobody posts anything, nobody says anything, and they can put their agenda through? Conduct audience analysis to develop the most effective operation in support of military objectives. So that's literally saying, looking at who is against the military objectives or who are finding out what we're doing and making sure that they're silenced. 7th Brigade, we've always said, they're in our channels, they're probably here somewhere as well, and they're always going to be trying to silence the people who are speaking out. Here we go. What do we do? The 77th Brigade constrains our hostile state actors and adversaries through information, operations and targeting, deployed and standoff, using intelligence to understand audiences and systems. Now this is the Ministry of Defence, and they're using words like audiences. Okay, we're all an audience of someone. We all watch somebody's live stream. We all watch somebody's live stream. We all watch what people are doing. Sorry, I'm on daddy duties today, so I've got the child. So is that what they're watching? Why are they not watching military personnel, foreign military personnel? Why are they using the words bad actors? We use the word bad actors because we know what we're talking about. Are they talking about the same ones, or are they saying we as the people are the bad actors? Using intelligence to understand audiences and systems, analyse networks and identify intelligence operations, the brigade holds a range of capabilities to deliver effect. 77th Brigade activities are best employed in concert with other military effects to achieve integrated action, and then get in touch and all that kind of crap. So there we have it. Like literally, there we have it. Nobody can say that 77th Brigade does not operate within the UK, operate within our social media, put what they would claim as positive propaganda to the people, to make sure that we don't rise up as one, we don't do what we're doing. Dan says here, Den says here, you're bang on, Danny. Let's put it up there. You're bang on, Danny. It's well documented, but people can't find the will to address the real problems all around us. And every group of worth is infiltrated, and the same tactics used because the people don't learn from the past tactics. And that's exactly what we are saying today. I'm saying we are not learning from how they've stopped us in the past. We're not learning from Brexit. Brexit was take back our country, take back our sovereignty, and make sure that we guide ourselves where we want to be. And what have we done since then? We have not done any trade deals because the left have decided to come up against us. We have not been able to control our borders because we are being led to believe that we are in some compact deals and some UN treaties and some, human rights act that prevents us from securing our borders. Well, no, we can close the border tomorrow. We can put the Royal Navy out in the Channel, and we can say any attempt to come into the UK is going to be classed as a war effort, and it's going to be classed as hostile, and we will use everything we can. If we have to, we'll shoot the boats down. Right, I'm sure that if they know that and they realise that, they're true, they're being real, you have to shoot them. You can shoot around them like they do with the Somali pirates when they're in the Suez Canal, and the pirates come down. Do they shoot the boats? No, they shoot just in front of them to make sure that they understand that if they do come any closer, they're going to get hit. Right, this is the defence that we need to do. We need to start being more organised. We need to start saying there is a problem. We have to deal with the problem. And the only way at this moment in time I can see that we can deal with the problem is if we group up and say, enough is enough. Literally, enough is enough. Let me see if I can put this one on. Let me go for a window. Oh, that's the way I did that one. This one, Let's not be scared of saying remigration, protect British culture. This is it. It's not racist. It's a fact. It's something we need to do. But if we get together, the blacks, the whites, the Chinese, everyone else, if we get together and control our country, who's going to be saying anything against it? Because those who are saying stuff against it, like the political parties, like the mainstream media, we can see that they are going to be, we can see that they are the ones who are going to be known as the ones taking down England, taking down Britain. We have to do something, people. We can't allow this to happen. I'll do it time and time again. We cannot allow this to happen. Look at it. It's a fucking war zone. This isn't some place in a second world country. This is The Hague in the Netherlands. It's all right saying, oh yeah, cool, all right, there's a right wing, Geert Wilders is there. All right, cool, it's fine. It's not fine because they're already here. They're already in the system. They're already in the country planning these type of attacks. Just look at that. The police are watching things burn. Can't do anything about it. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Look, the house is done. They throw out a burning bin. You can't do nothing about it. Is that what we want to be? Is that what we want to be, people? Come on. Do we want to be cucked so much that we cannot direct our country in the way that we want to do? the way we've got to look at things is like, you know, our borders, right? Especially the Dover border. It's not just a line on the map, okay? It's got to be a symbol of our nation's strength and resilience, because the Nazis, the Germans, tried to come in that way and we prevented them from happening. You know, we can't have people say, oh, okay, do you know what? It's just a gateway for our illegal immigration. It's a gateway for drug trafficking. It's a gateway for human trafficking. It's a gateway for gun trafficking. Do you think these things are not coming into the UK? Do we really think that oh, okay, then we can have all these immigrants to come in, but there's no guns coming in? There's no huge caches of guns. The human traffickers are like, oh, do you know what? No, we're gonna have some morals. We're not gonna put drugs on there. We're not gonna put guns on there. We're not gonna put munitions on there. Oh yeah, Danny, they can't get it. You know, how are they gonna get these military grade weaponry? Well, hang on a minute. Where's all the weaponry that we've given to Ukraine? How comes we keep having to give them more and more and more? Because they're using it. Well, they haven't got enough people to use it because they're getting slaughtered, right? They are getting slaughtered. They've got zero military training. There's the conscription. Look at this. Let me find this one, right? The conscriptions. Again, great work from Warren on The Real Truth. Great work from it. Look at this one. Let me see if I can find it. There's nothing to say the conscriptions are working. How can you have 2 weeks training? How can you have 2 weeks training and then say, yeah, that's going to be acceptable? Look at this. Look at this. Stop sharing my screen. This is what we are. I don't know how to say it any other way. This is what we're dealing with. You know, this is exactly what we are dealing with. So, why is it doing that? God, this is a conscription, right? This is the SBU in Ukraine wanting to take this person in to fight a war he has no interest in, because he realises probably it's a proxy war, or he realises he's going to get slaughtered. Let's have a look.
Вилавлюють, подивись. А ті всі стоять. Так, піймайте їх. Нічого, подивися, вилавлюють наручники. Подивись, що робить.
Водитель, он водитель, понимаешь?
He is a driver. Do you see?
Вот это.
Він водитель цієї машини.
So what they've done is they've ripped him out of his truck while he's trying to provide for his family, for his children. They've ripped him out of his truck and said, right, you got training, mate. You ain't doing that. You need to be down on the you need to be down in a Divka when they're running away now. You need to be down there and start fighting. We'll give you a week training. We'll give you a gun, and that's it. It's absolutely crazy what is going on, and these people in Ukraine, the Azov, the Nazis, the Stephen Banderas fanboys, do you really think that they're not going to be saying, well, you know what, we can sell some of these to other mafia bosses? Let's sell it to the Albanians. Oh, hang on a minute, the Serbians, they're starting to rise up. You know, let's sell them a little bit to help them out. The black market is awash with NATO military graded weaponry. It ain't going to take a lot to get that into the UK. Do it bit by bit, build up a cash, build up the people, and then we're fucked. We are absolutely fucked. Right. Alan Hamilton said, I know you mean well, Danny, but this has been planned. The Bank of England is behind this, and we have never been in control. That's 100% right. Yeah, Bank of England may not even be 100% behind it. We know BlackRock's going to be part of it. We know the military industrial complex people, the shareholders, the Infosys, Richie Sunak's type of people are going to be behind it 100%. And we've never been in control. But this is why it's important at this point in time now, when we can say, do you know what? Actually, let's try and change the narrative. Let's try and put some people into Parliament. Let's try and regain some bits of control. And I don't mean the Reform UK, Richard Tice, I'm a snake type of control. I mean proper. Get proper people in there. Get people in there that you trust. People from your community that you trust. Put them up there and all vote for them. Because at the end of the day, I know what happens in America with the vote rigging and everything else like that. It will happen here easier. but we've got to do something. Surely. We can't just say, oh, there's nothing we can do. Den has said it's all illustrated. We have one thing that they don't have, and that's numbers in unity. Together we can bring lawful means to most of our problems. Our biggest problem is finding unity. Exactly. Again, it's easy for me to come here and say we need to be together, but we actually need to start doing it. We actually need to be in the community. You know, we've got the pedo hunters, right? And I know they don't actually do it that way, so that's a bit more difficult. We've got people in communities. We've got people out doing good work. We've got the Salvation Army in most places. We've got people, you know, St Mungos and these type of people giving out stuff to the homeless. We've got a lot of people who just do it because they want to do the charitable work. They don't really want to be out on the internet doing it. But we've got to start coming together. Because believe you me, the Islamists, right? They'll come together. I know they're not doing it for Palestine, so that shows. Why do not the Muslim community come together against the Palestinians? So they must know something about them within their scriptures or within their solidarity or whatever. That's why the big thing's coming about with us. But when it comes down to the UK, they've got solidarity. They've got unity. They won't oust people because somebody might have said something a bit controversial. They get together because they know what it means for their religion. And I can't have our country taken over. I can't. Sorry, it's not going to happen. Then I'm sure, I think we're outnumbered. We're not outnumbered. We're outnumbered, right, in speaking. Right, we're very outnumbered in speaking because what they've done successfully is they've created everything against the narrative to be hate speech, everything against the people that are doing the problems to be racist, to be this, that, and the other. And we're in such a way that we're many people are on high finance. They've got a mortgage they can't afford. They've got a car they can't afford. The kids go to all the clubs they can't afford, and the only way they can semi-afford it is by working how they do. That's the majority of people in the UK. Before, back in the 80s, 70s, people didn't really do credit. People didn't credit themselves out. If you wanted something, you say for it, you bought it. That was what it was. You reuse what you've got. It wasn't a consumer culture as we are now. So, of course, we're in that culture. We're only 2 pay slips away from being bankrupt, broken out on the street. And people understand that, and I understand it as well. But people know that they can't go and do what they need to do and get out on the streets, right? But it's one way that we can do what we do, and that's be on the streets online. Let's make sure that everything that the people who do speak out gets reposted, gets shared about, and then people know that there are others out there who are willing to defend and willing to do stuff. And that's a unity. And with that online culture, we'll naturally bring it onto the streets. People say, fuck it. They can't get rid of everyone, you know. They can't take away everyone's bank account. The longer we deal with the problems, the bigger the problems become. That's it, pushing it under the carpet. We've got to this situation where our children are under attack, while our country's under attack, while our culture, history, traditions, everything is because the Liberals have been in control. The ones that have been, let's just allow everything to go through. Let's have everyone be happy, and you know, there's no bad intentions. There's nothing bad. This is what we need to shake off. We need to shake off this notion. It's not too late yet. See, we've got people that are willing to fight, and it's not too late yet. And we can do it. It's possible. But like Den said before, and like I said, I put my first speech out, right? I'm not going to put it because it's traumatic. It's very traumatic. Hearts of Oak. It was traumatic. But then my first speech, I ended it by saying we need unity. We need unity. If we're going to defeat any type of monsters, if we're going to come together in any type of way, we need unity. You see me, but Danny, you go after the black supremacists, you go and call these people out, you call them people out, you know, you don't like Islam as a religion, how can you be calling unity? Well, I'm calling unity for the people who want to be unified. I'm calling unity for the people who want to come together. There's no point me coming and saying, oh yeah, it's all right. these type of people want to be with us because it's clear that they're not part of our narrative. All that will happen is we'll start fighting them inside the space of unity to become ununited. We don't need these people, but what we do need is we need the English people, the British people, the people who love this country, the people who would do what needs to do for this country to come together and say, right, what are we going to do now? How are we going to change the narrative? How are we going to make sure that our children, because it's all right living now, it's all right us living now, and we've got a semi-all right life, and there's nothing really going on like the riots we've just seen, or something like a Kenyan massacre. Right, this isn't happening yet, so we don't foresee the future. But we've got to realise, we've got children. I've got a 4-year-old, right? So in 10 years' time, and we've seen how much change has happened in the last decade. So in a decade, she'll be 14. What world am I going to be living to her as she's 14? Going forward, she's got 30 years. She's going to be 44. What kind of life is she going to have? I can't simply just stand and say, yeah, all right, cool, it might not happen in 50 years. What about our children, your great-grandchildren? What about them? We've got to start looking forward for the people coming behind us, for our children, our societies going beyond when we live. The Marxists have done it. The Marxists have done 100-year plans. The communists in China do 100-year plans. They do plans that they want to come to fruition when they know they're going to be dead and they're not going to reap any type of reward from it. And that's the point. When we know that we're going to be dead in the ground, right, we'll be lucky to be a memory in someone's head. We'll be lucky to be a picture on someone's wall, right? We need to make sure, though, that what we're saying now and what we're doing now is coming into fruition then. Because that's the best legacy. Who started all this? I don't know. But it was good. It's worked out. And that's what I think anyway. I don't know what the people think. I don't know what you all think. I don't know how to really get it round to make sure that once we have this unified peoples, right, it might only be 100 people, but once you get it, right, you get it in such a way, people have to listen. Look at Just Stop Oil, right? I hijacked their groups many, I think it was last year, about 18 months ago. Hijacked their groups. It's batshit crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. But their ideas are a small people can make a big difference. That's their ideals. And it's true. There's only, less than 20 people out on them streets. But they've shut down the whole of London. They have shut down the whole of London with a small people. So if we get 100 people and we're all saying, listen, we need to start talking about remigration. We need to start talking about closing down our borders. And, economy's going to get trashed. This is going to get... Fuck it then. Yeah? Let the economy get trashed. Let everything get trashed. But at least we are doing it for our people. Our women and children are not going to get raped and mutilated. We're not going to be having to be forced to speak in a foreign tongue. We're not going to be forced a religion onto us. And if we don't have that religion, it's not going to be, you got to pay the money, you got to pay the jizya or whatever it's called. It's going to be, you're going to be murdered. They're going to start doing what they do out in the October 7th attack. They're going to start doing the Kenyan massacres. They're going to start doing all that type of stuff in our country. And what are we going to do then? What are we going to do then? We're going to then say, it's time to get together. Because people will be even more scared to do that. Alan Hamilton said, it's gone to... If I read that already. I've gone too far. C News has said, look around. Look around. Wherever you live, look at the first and second most popular boy names in this country now. They're outpopulating, they're outbreeding already. Wait till it gets to a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades. You're gonna see a problem. It's not too late, and this is the point. Yeah, I think this is what the point chat's not getting. Right? Let's not take the black pill. Listen what I just said. What did I just say? The 77th Brigade, what do they do? Let's go back. The 77th Brigade, what is their purpose, right? The 77th Brigade, what do we do? Information operations, right? We conduct audience analysis to deliver the most effective operations to support military objectives. So part of that will be taking the black pill. Part of that is by saying there's no hope left for you. You now have to accept it. It might take you 10 years to accept the course that we are steering the country on, but you need to accept it. This is the fucking army. This is on the British Army website, right? They're not hiding the fact now there is an information operations brigade. There is a propaganda unit within the British Army. They're not hiding it. And why they're not hiding it? Because they know it's easy to blackpill people. So when Den's going out and saying it's not too late, it's not too late, right? What's happened, and it'll probably take a generation to stop what's happened, or to revert back to a situation when we've got full control. We've got much more control than what we've got. But that doesn't mean we stop. That doesn't mean that we don't carry on. We don't carry on with our operations. We accept the situation. No, it might be done, but there's always ways to turn back the clock, no matter how long it takes. So as long as we can breed people coming beyond us to share and spread the message and to continue the legacy that is beginning to be made, then that's all we need. Look at America. Donald Trump will become the president of the United States. Whether or not he goes to jail, whether or not he becomes bankrupt, whether or not whatever, he will become the next president of the United States, and he will have a predecessor, which will be Vivek Ramaswamy or Ron DeSantis, one of the two. And then beyond that, they probably got 2 terms in them. And then beyond that, they'll be having another predecessor to make sure they continue the political line. This is what everyone does. Kings, queens, anyone. They build a legacy and they make sure people come after them and they make sure that it carries on. That's what we need to do. If we give up now, then what's the point? What's the point? What's the point of even saying about, let's send these people back home because they don't belong here, because they've invaded our country in a small boat? Why don't we just say, do you know what, bruv? There's a channel tunnel there. We're going to buy you the tickets. We'll make the private business of the Eurostar more profitable. We'll make sure the trains are always full. We'll bring them through and we'll give them the houses. And you people, because you've taken the black pill, you don't have to, or you can't talk against it. And then we're going to take your house because your house is more profitable in government hands. We've seen it up in Wellingborough. The elderly people, to the couple, they bought a house. The government says we're going to take your house on a compulsory purchase order, which means you cannot stop that going through, and they've only got to give you a lower form, the lowest they can for your house, right? That's all they've got to give you. And they want to do that. Why? To house illegal immigrants, taking from you the British people and giving it to the people invading. Now that on its own should have had thousands of men on the streets outside Northampton Council, but it's not. Why? Because people are spreading the message and saying the black pill's working. It's all too late. It's all too late. Political correctness is the cancer. Political correctness is cancer killing this country. Just speak out now while we can. Staying silent isn't an option. Again, I can't disagree with these comments. Alan's coming out and saying it's going to be the first time in years where the fight is going to be on England's doorstep. Times have changed. Be honest, what do you see England like in 2048? Again, questioning the situation, thinking about the future, what it's going to be like. We can envision what it's going to be like in 2048 because we are going to be, if we carry on the way we are, we will become that minority that people talk about. We will become a group of people who are just existing and not living, watching the people coming here having a much better life than us, wondering where did it go wrong. Well, all the men need to do in 2048, if it's all gone wrong, is to go to the mirror, look at themselves and say, what did I do? Did I do enough? Did I go above and beyond what's needed? Or did I accept, if I say anything, I'm a racist. Even though I know I'm not. Even though my friends know I'm not. Even though everyone else knows I'm not. We've been conditioned to say, if you go against the narrative, mate, you're a racist. We as people should be able to agree on a few key things that affect us regardless of colour, race, etc. for the children and the future generations to come. We do. I always say, it's not necessarily... this is a great example, right? The freedom rallies. We went to London every single time a freedom rally came out. We was fighting for our freedoms against lockdown, against forced vaccinations, against all this kind of stuff. I stood there with people I knew, and I've had arguments with online who are not extreme lefties, but them extreme type of lefties who will stand with Black Lives Matter, thinking they're doing the right thing because they don't actually know fuck all. So they just say, yeah, Black Lives do have to matter. But then the same people is when I say, all right, cool, I'm going to repay the favour and I'm going to let everyone know that white lives actually matter. Right? Even though we know that both lives matter. Right? We all know it's all lives matter and that, but, I'll return it. But then they say, oh, no, look, you're a racist. With these type of people, with people who are Labour and they're out on the streets, I'm just saying, right, we don't agree politically, right? We don't agree politically, but we know lockdown, vaccinations, forced vaccinations, all this is wrong. So let's unite on the common purpose. Unite what we can unite on, and the rest of it we can deal with later. And you never know. You might now think I'm a good guy, yeah? I spoke to you beyond politics, and you might think, Danny is a great guy. I'm going to listen to him a little bit more. I'm going to understand him a little bit more rather than giving him that tag. If we can stand together on that small bit that we do unite on, the common purposes, we then build. As I said, this is not going to be a year-long project that everything's going to get back to normal. No, we've got to condition our children. If you have men and sons and daughters, you've got to start conditioning them about politics. You've got to start conditioning them about what's important in life. You've got to start making them understand things the way they look at stuff, rightly or wrongly, right? We need to start making sure that our offspring are going to be the best that we can, rather than saying, oh, he's going to be a footballer, he's really good at sports, he wants to be a footballer, you're going to let him do it. No, there's going to be no football. Islam does not like celebrating false idols. There'll be no football. And this is what we need. This is what we need to do. Honestly, this is how we, as a society, if we go back to primitive thinking, right? We've got back to primitive thinking, that our offspring have got to carry on the family line. Our offspring are not just there now just to enjoy themselves, to have fun and be the best person they can be. Now our offspring have to be the ones who are guiding the future, because it's got to that situation. It's got that fucking bad. We've got to now start using Victorian times of having to have children for the prospect, to make the country prosper, which is a crazy situation to be thinking of. But we can't. We've got children now who've been into the cult of gender Marxism, who believe genuinely that they're gender fluid, to believe genuinely they're a cat, to be genuinely they're whatever they get told they can be. But they're going to be the people in control of the country at some point. They're going to be the people who are going to be directing the way this country comes. We can't look at them as children for the whole life. We've got to look at them and start saying, well, you know what, yeah, these are the future of this country. Let's make sure that we can get them into the positions that will most benefit our country. And hopefully they do the same, and the same, and the same, and the same. Who knows? But don't let the black pill work. That's a nonsense. And if there's no hope for the country, and if the country has generally gone, then you have to look somewhere else, don't you? You have to look to raise your family in a country, because you can't raise them in a country you generally believe is going to be, very bad for them, and it's going to actually oppress them in ways that we've never experienced in our lives, and we probably couldn't even describe to them. Let's see what the chat's saying. I've had my rant now. I feel a lot cooler. So red on it. Look like a diamond hand there. Right, what's it? Where's people should be able to... Oh yeah, I've said that one. We've got a... What's that? Never take the knee. I love that anyway. Never take the knee. What's that picture? Can't even see it. But that's another thing though, right? We said take politics out of sports, right? We said there shouldn't be any type of people bowing down to the cult of Marx and the race Marxism that's been going on. We wasn't successful on that, right? Before taking the knee, there was minimal amounts of politics. From then, even now, there's huge amounts of politics. Look at Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift reckons that she can dictate an election. So they take it to the Super Bowl, they all grab her up, make sure she's all right. The Democrats hoping that she will endorse Joe Biden. But then what did they do? Was it Soros? Soros bought her back catalogue. So he's basically in control of her finances going forward anyway. So she has to say what they want him to say. And that's disgusting. Because sports, Super Bowl, American football, baseball, wherever you are in the world, Gaelic football, you should be able to go to a sports arena and forget about the world and just concentrate on what entertainment you're doing. And if we can't do that, then fuck it, let's get gladiator stuff back. Let's start fighting people in the arenas. Let's have a bit of fun. Let men be men. Right, what's this one? Imagine the conversation with your kids and your grandchildren 10 years from now, trying to explain why you stay silent because people called you names. And that's it. And it's hard. It's easy. I don't want people to say, Danny, you're a dickhead, yeah? Because it's so hard. We're going to all lose our jobs. We're all going to do that. Blah, blah, blah. Cool. I understand that. It's catch-22. What's the worst of the evils? All right, cool. We keep our jobs and our whole family is oppressed in 10, 15 years' time, or our children end up oppressed. We lose our jobs and we help the fight of stopping it from happening. It might still happen, but at least we know that we fought. Okay, cool. In this day and age now, what is more productive? You'd always say, well, working to keep your family, because that's now, and we need to live in the now. But that's our mindset. That's what we've been conditioned to think. That's the consumer communism that's happening now. Everything you can have right this second. I want the AirPods. I'll just go and get it on credit. Fuck it. It's only £16 a month. Who cares? But that's keeping you under control, because it's another bit of money that's going to ruin you if they want to. It's a catch-22 situation, and we can sorry, Twitter came up. Good Twitter comments, because we're doing it on X as well, and we're doing it on a few other places. So comments are coming all over the place. Big up Asbo Alice. I hope Alice is like some nutter, some Asbo girl. Honestly, that's the image I get in my head. A bit like Tank Girl. Who remembers Tank Girl from the 90s? A bit like that. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, we've got to start living now and thinking to save the Marty McFly situation, to save or change the future. No, that's wrong. But to change the future, we've got to sacrifice ourselves. It doesn't have to be everyone either. It could be only a few people. As I said, it only takes 100 people. Let's do 50 blacks, 50 whites, right? All to go to a so-called far-right demonstration, right? All carrying Union Jacks, all singing songs, being very, very loud. Louder than anyone else. Louder than anything else, right? Going up to stand up to racism and all that, starting little skirmishes about. Do you think that the media would report on that, or they'd continue with the peaceful rally? they'll continue with the peaceful rally saying how obnoxious it is and how racist it is, blah, 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 because they're together, right? So we then can fly under the radar. We get the people together. We can say what we like, and it's not going to be negative nor positive in the media. But we control our alternative media. So when we're pushing it out alternatively and on alternative sites, people are going to see it as positive. Without media infiltration, until it gets to a stage when the media have to, because the 77th Brigade and people like them have said, you know, this is out of hand. We need to control this because a lot of people are listening to them. And that is the beauty of it. When it gets to that stage, that 100 people who have sacrificed everything have turned into, you know, thousands and thousands. All because we didn't get the negative publicity right at the beginning. You know? That's it. Right, the next one. Alan says, what do you think on Israel and Palestine? Everyone says this to me, right? And to be honest, this is my honest truth. I don't really care, to be honest. What I care about is our sons and daughters dying on foreign fields, funded by this military industrial complex, backed by BlackRock. You know, we're defending other people's borders without defending ourselves and our own borders. And I do think that the only thing we need to do in the Israel-Palestine debacle is politically, you know, we have to send our delegates out there and say, look, it needs to be sorted out one way or another. We've got to do it. But what amazes me is this. The proxy war with Ukraine and Russia. Before the war started, there was 3 people, including Israel, who went out to do terms and conditions of the war not starting. They were going to set out agreements, their plans diplomatically. It got refused. Hungary, Moldova, I like to say. No, somewhere else, a couple of other people in the middle of the war tried to do another treaty of peace. That didn't work. A few months ago, the Arab nations tried to do a treaty of peace. That's not been accepted. But these people have gone out and sent their delegates out there to create these treaties of peace. Nobody's done it for Israel or Palestine. Nobody's gone out there and said, this is what we do believe as peace. I do actually believe the Saudis or maybe the UAE, one of them two, have kind of said, oh, we're going to boycott or we're going to do this. But it's nothing like what has been going on. So that makes me be led to believe that this is just something that's happening that we can't control. It's a chain of events for something in the future to happen. But I don't think our sons and daughters should be out there in military uniform, dying on the streets, or dying in Yemen, or dying in the Red Sea, or whatever, because of other people's interest in whatever games they're playing. Bring them all back home, and we'll defend our country like anyone else. We'll defend it like a motherfucker. We'll be better than World War II people. We'll have drones out on the channel. We'll defend it like anything. But that's our land, that's our soil. That's, you know, people dying on our soil, not a foreign one. That's it. That's my opinion of it. A lot of people have a lot of really high opinions, and I believe our troubles are worse in the UK. Our troubles, our focus, our demonstration points, our mass disruptiveness should be in the UK. It should be about what's going on now in the UK, not about Palestine or Israel. How many miles away are they? France is only 26 miles, and they're importing their worst people, the illegal, undocumented young men, and we're accepting them. So, on a scale of what's more important to me, my country wins each and every time. See no one. It says, thing is, one second. The thing is, we get arrested for even talking, let alone going on marches and protests. We do. Exactly, we do. Again, we need to take a little leaf out of what the left-wing nutters do. In fact, can I get it up in here? If I can get it up in here, I'm going to show you if I can. This is a breach of probably every bit of confidentiality. It's going to expose myself of the the Just Stop Oil people, but I think it's important. Let me see if I can get it up. If I can get it up, I'll do a screen share. But what the left do is they've got little groups. They've got little groups and, you know, solicitors. They've got little funds for people to help them out, to make sure they're represented in court, blah, 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 blah. They do all that type of stuff. They've got lots of groups just for one march. And that's what we need to start doing. We need to start saying, all right, cool. There's going to be a few people that are going to lose their jobs. They're going to get arrested. They're going to do this type of stuff. Oh, it's unlinked. Let me just see if I can link it up again. Because when it links up, Signal, because it's unencrypted or unencrypted, it doesn't let you do what previously was on there. Well, I'll sort it out for another time, right? It's too much for me to do this and try and talk at the same time. But I will show you what they do. And they do have all these little mad groups and they help each other out. And that's what we need to do. You know, we need to start saying to the police, all right, cool, you can arrest 1 or 2, but you can't arrest 50, 60. You can't arrest everybody who's there. And the people who are there, they need to make sure, there needs to be people there to say, okay, cool, we're going to be the defenders. We're going to try and make sure at least amount of people get arrested and pull them back into the crowd and make them disappear. Or we need to have people like Just Stop Oil do, who are prepared to be arrested. You think these speeches that they do, I'm here because of my children, do you think they're not pre-planned? It's pre-planned. They know exactly who's going to get arrested. They make sure the camera people are on these people because they're the ones going to get arrested. They're the ones who need to make the statement. They're the ones who are going to go limp and all that. Maybe we should have people that say, all right, cool. If it comes down to it, these 10 people will be the arrestees. But these 10 people, we're going to get solicitors for. We're going to make sure if they lose a job, they're supported. They're going to do. That's part of the unity. That's part of the community. We're all together. We rise as one. If one falls down, we don't just leave them there and leave them to get along with it. We have to support it. And if we do come for this unity, we have to make sure that it understands. And there needs to be some type of rules and just charters of what happens or what happens in this. And it's a big situation. It's a big thing. I'm just easily speaking. It's massive. It's a massive project. But I think it needs to happen. G'day, Min. Min from Australia. Was it? I heard from Bogan Brett, that they had some, it was Indonesians or Pakistani boats come over the other day. Did you hear about that? As for Alex, Danny, I'm Welsh born and bred. Big up the proud ones. If you know, you know, innit. All right, but I used to live in Wales as well. I love Wales. Wales is good. Wales is good. Black and yellow, fellow. Big up, you know, black and yellow. Let's do that. I'm not going to say anything against Asbel Alex, right? Because you know what I mean, right? The truth is in the name. Let's concentrate on the country we all love, 100%. Unite Against Hate campaign in Manchester brought people together from all colours and races on the stage to the crowd, to the point the fences had to be removed to get everybody in one place. Exactly that. You know, it does work, it does happen, but it needs to continue to happen. It needs to be a continued business. And also, you know, we are starting to do little protests and demonstrations and things like that in other places. But I'm a fan of doing it all at the same time in these different places, like to say Unite Against Hate, right? So we've got that. That's the banner of the situation. And you say, right, you're going to do a place in Manchester, a place in Liverpool, a place in this place, all up and down the country. So people who are watching, government, state agents, 77, whoever, realise that not only can we get together, we can spread it through the country, and we're not hitting the big cities. Because once you hit the big cities, you've got more police, haven't you? So we've got to draw the police out to the places that we are. If you want to try and stop what we're doing, you've got to come to these little places. You've got to come to the places that you wouldn't necessarily have them, but we're all up and down the country on the same day, at the same time, with different speakers. There's different problems up and down the country. What happens down south doesn't happen up north. You know, yes, we've got an invasion problem down south, but we haven't got, I don't think we've got as many hotels as up at north. So it's different situations, but everybody can get on the same. And Tom Zero News, a big up to him. I don't know if he's going to be sneaky listening, probably is, but he did come up with a great concept that he proved to be right and proved that worked. And that was he could stream multiple places at the same time, having a controller like a news studio. So someone say it wouldn't be me, but to say I'm here, I can say, oh, we've got the people up in Manchester, and I can do the share to Manchester, and people from Liverpool can tap in. Oh, something's happening up in Liverpool. Here's Liverpool. Bang. So you're watching the one stream, but it's covering every single demonstration under that banner, which is it's a great concept. I'm not going to lie, it's a great concept, and it can work. And you know, hopefully, you know, Tom's going out to make it better and make sure we can use it as when we want. I thought he said Danny Malone then. I was thinking, what the hell? Danny, massive respect to you. Know what I know, you know. You will win this, lad. We will win. We just got to make sure that we're a bit... Yeah, we've got to make sure we're a bit more clever. You know what, right? Zero News was used. Shines on the truth piece. I think I know who you are. So carry on. Say what you want to say, mate. To be at the end of the day, this guy's been on every single comment channel today, just chatting pure shit. So it's all cool. But yeah, Danny, what happened to you? I should end the stream now. What happened to me? What's that supposed to mean? What is that supposed to mean? What happened to me? What happened to yourselves and everybody else who's refusing to take on board what's going on? Oh, fuck's sake, like one. To take on board what's going on. We've got to win this. We have to make sure that we're not divided anymore. 100%. I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of you know, getting people together, getting a unity going that nobody can break, and making sure we do what we have to do. And that's it, really. I think my rant is over. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. That was only an hour. What was that? Hour and 15? Hour and 12. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. But yeah, just take a bit of advice from it and understand that we can't do it alone. We can only beat this together. It's not going to be a situation where there's zero casualties. There's going to be a huge amount of casualties, but we've got to be prepared for that, and we've got to make sure that the casualties are not left on the battlefield alone. And we can start to break it. Again, it might not be in our lifetime, but we shouldn't be thinking of gratification in our lifetime. We've got to be thinking about a total legacy and the people who come behind us, that we pass the torch down, the torch of nationalism, the torch of celebrating our country. Not allowing these people to who was it? Was it Talk TV or one of them shit cunt news stations were saying, oh, what does the Union Jack represent to you? Should it be removed from a more inclusive flag? Again, these things, people should be up in their thousands and complain. Do you think they're going to do it, right? Do you really think? Let's just do a thought process now, right? GB News. Do you think GB News could carry on the way they carry on certain topics if they knew there was going to be people outside the front at any point in time to make sure that their voices are known, how snaky GB News are done? Talk TV, LBC, these people, do you think they'll get away with it? Do you think the politicians would continue to oppress the constituencies if they realised that outside the constituency office there at any point in time there'll be 100, 200 people making sure they understand how they feel, how they've been let down? I don't think they would. I think if they knew there was true repercussions, people would start thinking about what they're putting out, of how oppressive they're being, of what they're doing to their constituency. But because nothing's happening, because people can still continue as normal, they'll just continue doing what they want to do. All they'll say is, you've not come out and shown your disgustedness with us. We don't know that you didn't like it. That's all they're going to say. We've already had tons of see no one. So we've already had tons of casualties. We have had tons of casualties. We've also had huge successes. All right. So I'm not saying that it's not been done before. I'm not saying that it's not. You know, we've got to. If we know the people and the casualties, we've got to help them the same way. What I'm saying is going forward. What I'm saying is from this day forward, we have to have a plan. We have to make sure that a plan is in place and we can all adhere to it and we can all run with it. Because there's no point, again, going in different directions. There's no point saying, oh, I thought it was going to just be against illegal immigrations, but now you're talking about, you know, the council's all being shit and, you know, abusing the people, but my council's actually all right, so I'm not actually with that. It's got to be kind of like, we all know what the situation, we're all singing off the same script, so, you know, social media is massive. And you can get things trending. 1,000 people can get something trending. Not even that. 500 people within 2 minutes, all posting the same or similar things, can get it trending. The analytics will pick it up. And this is what we need to do: just use everything we can, and come under the one banner of a unified people. And that will scare the shit out of the politicians as well. That would scare the shit out of them. But yeah. What's this going on in the chat? Chat's going alive. GB News, this is Shines. GB News, not great. Talk News is not great. No, we can agree on that because, like Asbo said, they're controlled opposition. And they are. It's like the Reform Party controlled oppositions. There are other new outlets out there. There is the alternative media, the media who is going to go forward in life, which is going to be the, you know, us lot, the internet. It's why you're seeing a huge rise in podcasts. You're seeing a huge rise in them. Why are all these people now suddenly doing podcasts? Because they realise the internet and this way of containing media is the way to go forward. That's what they know. They realise it. Can't do the news on that. Yeah. Reform is pitifully controlled opposition. It is. And then all this stuff of saying, oh, hang on a minute, Nigel Farage, right? Our mate Nigel, even though I've got enough respect for him for everything he's done for Brexit, since then, I think he's shown a different side to him. Oh, he's going to now be the Conservative, or we want him to be the Conservative leader. It's like, hang on a minute, he's not called out a controlled group like Reform UK. He's not even said that they're not controlled, to be fair. He's just been totally quiet on the whole situation. And that poses a problem, a huge problem. Again, it makes sure that things are not unified. Unity. If we all got together, we could do anything. Literally anything. We could control every single narrative. We can make sure the counter narratives are destroyed. These people are racist. This group's racist. That's a hate crime. That blah 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 blah. And we could go out against the people who are against us. What's wrong with that? Have a bit of pride in your country. Have a bit of pride in the community. Make sure that they know that we won't take this shit any longer. We're going to stand up and we're going to stand strong, and more than anything else, we're going to stand together. You know, there's not much more to say from that, to be honest. Now's the time for action. You know, let them know that we're proud to stand together as nationalists, and we will defend our homeland and our people. We have to. And if that's not the case, then what's the point? But that's the black pill. We've been through that. let's leave this on a happy way forward, and let's leave this with some drum and bass, right? But anyway, thank you for being here at this time in the evening. Night shift's a bitch, but you know when I stop my night shift, because I'll start be doing normal shifts as well. But this is, I'm going to cut this up anyway and put little pieces out in little places, because it's important as well to get it out there. So share it, like it, do what you got to do. I'm not actually sure it actually works anymore, but you know, let's make sure that people are aware and people know a situation that should happen. Anyway, people, thank you for sharing it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.